Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is episode 77. Today's date is November 21st, 2018. This is a special, usually our Thursday night football edition, but tomorrow, of course, everybody knows is Thanksgiving, so this is our Thanksgiving football edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. 3 games in the NFL tomorrow, all with playoff implications. Lions and Bears gets us started in the afternoon. Then the midday game, Redskins at Cowboys. And then the nightcap will be the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. I'll preview all 3 games and also give you my weekly power rankings, which I do every Wednesday as well. So all football edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all the support, as always, on social media as well, on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll put up a notification that this video is available for you guys to watch. Like I said, 3 games tomorrow. Of course, the traditional Lions and Cowboys home games, and then now the NFL started another tradition, having a game at night, which rotates every year. So we will go ahead and dive right in and get started. Our first game up, 12:30 kickoff. The Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Bears are 3-point favorites. Bears, of course, coming at 7-3. Lions come in at 4-6. Last week, Bears on Sunday night, it was able to beat the Minnesota Vikings to take control of the NFC North in this divisional matchup. Lions sort of surprising win as they beat Carolina at home, nailed by the 20-19. I think Carolina went for 2 instead of tying the game and failed on the 2-point conversion, and that gave the Lions the win. Let's start with the Bears, since they're the road team in this game. Are they for real? I think so. As far as winning this division, I think they have a real chance to win it. Green Bay was my choice. I think at the beginning of the year they had fallen off. Too much pressure on Aaron Rodgers. I think they play the Packers again, so but I was convinced when they beat Minnesota this Sunday. And Mr. Trubisky is questionable. I mean, I think he's listed as questionable for tomorrow's game. I think he has some type of shoulder injury or something. So, but even if he doesn't play, I like the Bears running the football with Cohen and Howard. And the defense, of course, Khalil Mack having an MVP type year. So he was a big factor. I think he's the main reason why they turned it around so quickly. But also the play by Mr. Trubisky as well. But hopefully he's available for tomorrow. And is it more to come? Yeah, I guess. Like I said, I really think they gotta be in line to win this division. As far as getting past either the Saints or the Rams, I still don't think they're on those levels yet in the NFC. But I think other than those 2 teams, who else? They can match up well with what's the East? Whoever the East are going to be, which might be Dallas, which we're going to talk about Dallas what they play, and Washington. I think they definitely above those teams. But just New Orleans and the LA Rams, I think they still be hard for them to defeat those 2 teams. But they're looking at a 3rd seed right now in the NFC, so get a home game and then probably avoid the Saints. Probably get the Rams. Well, you get one of them in the next, your next round. That's how it's shaping to look out. But Bears, they got a good defense, so maybe they can neutralize those high-powered offenses. Speaking of the Rams, what a game. I meant to really start this blog off by talking about the game Monday night. What a game that was. And you see how sharp the Rams look on offense. Barely ran the ball. They just threw the ball up right at Kansas City and won. But that was one of the best games I ever seen. And we'll talk more about it Saturday as well. But the Bears, definitely in line. This will pretty much set them up to win this division if they're able to pull this one out in Detroit. Let's talk about the Lions now. Rebuilding. I think it's sort of rebuilding. Yeah, they probably won't come out and say that, but I think it is. I think Matt Patricia is trying to get his what he wants in Detroit. His first year as head coach. They got a couple of surprises when they beat New England, and this game was a surprising win. A couple of bad losses as well this year. Of course, when you got 6 losses, of course, some of them would be bad, but definitely rebuilding now. Probably would prefer losing this game to try to get a better pick in the draft next year. But Lions, they feisty. They're not going to just roll over. Them trading Golden Tate to me was the indication that okay, they're not looking to win this year. They're just going to try to get ready for next year. That's how I took that trade. Is it time to move on from Stafford? I guess I just saw that somewhere. I would say I'll bring it up. Just like I feel about a lot of quarterbacks in the league. Who else you going to get? There's nobody else to replace him. Speaking of the draft, there's no good quarterbacks coming out this year. Matthew Stafford not a bad quarterback. Detroit has never had a running game since Barry Sanders. They haven't had a consistent running game. So too much pressure on Stafford. Of course, Calvin Johnson retired at his prime. Even though I think Stafford sort of flourished a little bit more without Calvin because he didn't try to force the ball as much. He spread it around. But the defense has been consistent in his career as well. Lions been to the playoffs a couple of times, so I don't think it's time to do that yet. I think Stafford still is your quarterback for Detroit, in my opinion. There's no way nobody else to replace him. And if you replace him with somebody else, they're going to be just as good as Stafford. I believe so. So I wouldn't say it'd be time to go on yet. But my final score here, I got the Bears winning it. I think they're pretty much dominant this game. I think it'll start off slow. I know it's a short week. The Bears just played Sunday night. They got to play the first game on Thursday afternoon. So I know probably we'll hear those complaints coming out soon. But I think they overcome all that. I think they'll start off slow. I think they pull away at the end. I got the final score of 27-13. About a 14 point. I think they win by at least 10. Lions traditionally doesn't play too bad on Thanksgiving. They usually play pretty well, so I expect it to be a close game. Then Chicago pulling away at the end. Let's move on to the next game. 4:30 kickoff. Washington Redskins at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys a 7.5 favorite. I think that's kind of high, despite Redskins lose Alex Smith for the season with a broken tibia and fibia. Devastating injury to them. I think that pretty much threw their division and playoff hopes out the window. Can Colt McCoy probably win some games maybe, but this ain't one of the games I think they're going to win. I think Dallas playing too well, and that defense is going to pressure them. But let's start with the Redskins though. I just mentioned Alex Smith injury. That's huge. Alex Smith, you can say what you want about him, complain, he don't throw the ball down the field, blah, blah, blah. But the guy wins games. There's no coincidence the Redskins 6-4 right now and leading this division. He's the main reason he keeps staying steady. So there's going to be more pressure on Adrian Peterson. Can he really turn back the clock once again and carry the Redskins to the playoffs? So that's what's going to have to happen. Well, I pretty much already hinted at. Will they hold on to the division lead? I don't think so. I think I'm starting to lead towards Dallas. Philadelphia, just not right now. It's hard for me to believe in them. But Dallas right now is playing the best football. They win this game, they'd be tied with the Redskins. So I'm definitely leaning towards Dallas now as a favorite in this division. I think I picked Philadelphia to win the division at the beginning of the year. Easily picked defending champs. So. But I think the Redskins with the Alex Smith injury, I think that's going to be devastating. I think it'll be devastating enough for them to miss the playoffs altogether because they ain't getting a wild card. I don't believe in the NFC. So let's move on to Dallas, the Cowboys. Do they have it together? Maybe. The defense has been consistent all year, but it's been the offense. Dak Prescott looks a lot better. They finally give the ball to Zeke Elliott. He's had 2 monster games. And I ain't gonna lie, I buried them after they lost to Tennessee that Monday night. I watched that game. I was like, Dallas is done. They ain't going nowhere. They was 5-3 then. They got 2 big wins. Of course, last week they beat Atlanta, and the week before they was able to beat Philadelphia. Redskins lost to Houston in a tough one last week. I meant to mention that. Can they seize the opportunity? I think so. I think this is perfect for them. They're at home. Thanksgiving, they're used to this game every year. I think that'll be a difference as well in this game. I really think they're going to force some turnovers on Colt McCoy. I think that defense is going to get after it. Like I said, Adrian Peterson is going to have a monster game. The Redskins will have any shot. Final score, I got it being kind of close. I got it closer to the first game. 24-16 Dallas. Like I said, Ezekiel Elliott will have a monster game, probably have over 150 yards from scrimmage. They can catch some balls out the backfield. Dak Prescott, find Amari Cooper, who I didn't mention yet, came over via trade. I think Dallas will make somewhat of a statement for this division and tie the Redskins and tie them up at 6-5. I think Dallas gets it done. 24-16 is my final score. So we got one game left, the night game, the nightcap, the Atlanta Falcons, who's free falling, against the New Orleans Saints, who's on fire, number one in my power rankings. No secret there. We're gonna get to the power rankings in a few. We're gonna start with the Falcons. Falcons lost to Dallas last week, as I just mentioned, 22-19. They played again Thursday night. Now on the road. Are they done? I think so. I think they had the opportunity, lost to Cleveland, which was a disappointing. Like I say, okay, well, dust yourself back off, go home against Dallas. Dallas hold them to 19 points. Atlanta, like I said, it's hard for me to. I'm saying, I think Monday on my live Monday morning football hangover, I was saying about Jacksonville was disappointing, but Atlanta's a disappointing team as well. Thought they'd be better off right by now, just 4-6. But I mean, I'm still more disappointed in Jacksonville than Atlanta, because Atlanta, I mean, they're in a tough division with Carolina, New Orleans, and Tampa's not a pushover either. So, just I think it's more in the tough division for me. As the injuries catching up to them, they had a lot of injuries as well. So, despite it being a disappointing season, the defensive side of the ball has been decimated with injuries all over the place. But I think it already caught them. I mean, like I said, it's two devastating losses. Could have really been in a better position to at least represent the NFC as the wild card. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to lose this game as well, and then just be too far behind. They will have to win out from here if they do lose. Saints, of course, a huge win against the Eagles Sunday, 48-17, just destroyed them. I watched the game live. Drew Brees looking like Drew Brees. Michael Thomas is unstoppable. Kamara, his dynamic ball handling skills, catching that, running the ball, and Mark Ingram being that bell cow running back that gets you the tough yards. Offense just on point. The defense has made a lot better as well. That's what was the Saints question mark. Week 1 getting blown out by Tampa. Well, not blown out, but losing 48-40 and giving up 48 points to Brian Fitzpatrick. We thought, a lot of second thoughts started being put on the Saints, but ever since then, they have won 10 straight and it's rolling. Best team in football, without question. We've seen the spectacle on Monday night with the Rams and the Chiefs, but I think the Saints are a little bit better than both of those teams right now. I mentioned what Drew Brees is doing, but like I said, the defense has been great. The Eli Apple trade has worked out for him so far. Then you got Cameron Jordan on the defensive line. Like, the Saints are stacked. They playing well. Definitely the best team in football. Can they get home field advantage? I believe so. I mean, right now tied with the Rams at 10-1, but they beat the Rams, so right now they own the division. Saints schedule down the stretch is a little bit tougher, I think, than the Rams is. So people think the Rams is going to take them that way, but I think the Saints, even though their schedule is tough, I think I don't see nobody beating them from here on out. So excuse me, sorry about that. A little tired. I think the Saints could definitely get home field advantage. And if they do, they're pretty much almost a lock to make the Super Bowl. But bottom line with this game, I think the Saints will be too much of the Falcons. They won't be able to stop them. Division games, I always give division games a little bit of a leeway. You never know with division games how things will go. But I got the Saints winning this game 41-27. I think the Falcons will score some points, but just not enough. I think the Saints will pull away and put the Falcons out their misery, because I think that'll pretty much eliminate them from any type of playoff all 3 games tomorrow. All of them got playoff implications, so good lineup of games. So hopefully you'll be watching. I'll be trying to watch while I work tomorrow. Hopefully we got 3 good games. I just want to see some good games. I'm always an opponent for that. No matter who's on the field, I just want to see a good game. So we'll see if that works out in these 3 intriguing games. Saints, though, 13-point favorites. Hard for me to argue it too much, but I still think that's high. In the NFL, anything over 10 is just ridiculous. Last, I think this is the biggest spread since the Vikings-Bills game earlier this year. The Bills wound up winning that game by that much. Like, they flipped the script, on the Vikings. So, not saying that that's going to happen here, but excuse me, Atlanta. It is a division game, so it wouldn't shock me too much if Atlanta made this competitive. So, but yeah, I got the Saints, Bears, and the Cowboys all winning. Also, all home teams got them all winning. Well, the Bears is a road team, excuse me. So the Bears, I got them winning on the road against Detroit, and then I got Dallas and the Saints winning at home tomorrow, which will solidify their playoff chances. Alright, so usually I do my power rankings on Wednesday for the Thursday Night Football edition, but of course it's different this week. Of course, Thanksgiving, 3 games. But I still do my power rankings. I'm gonna start from the top because the top ain't that many changes. The bottom, I made some drastic changes, so I'm gonna start from the top. And I sort of said already, the Saints, best team in football, so they're the best team on my power rankings. Number 1 for the 3rd straight week in a row. Just a dominant win against the Eagles. Can't say no more about that. Just looking like the best team on both sides of the ball. Number 2, the LA Rams. They move up from 3rd to 2nd. Of course, the Chiefs were 2nd for a while, a few weeks, but they just went head-to-head in that thriller on Monday night. Just can't think enough about how great that game was. And Rams was able to pull it out, so they move up to 2. And like could be number 1 depending on how they look the next 2 weeks. Chiefs at 3. They played the hell of a game. They lost, but they played the hell of a game. I still think they deserve to be in the power rankings as they come in 3rd. They just switched up with the Rams. The Rams beat them. Can't argue too much about that. But a hell of a game. Putting up 51 points, but still fall a little bit short. But Chiefs still one of the best teams in football. Got them at number 3. Now we start to see the changes here. Number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They wasn't ranked last week. They haven't been ranked since earlier this year. And, basically coming out the beginning of the season, then they struggled, so they ain't been on my list. But they won 6 straight games. They have a big game this week as they play who do they play this week? I forgot. I had to check that, but I know it's a significant game they got this week. Just looking good. The offense looking like they back, and the defense is playing a lot better. I got them at number 4. And number 5, we got another tie. It's hard for me to leave one of these teams off, so I wound up tying them. I was just going to choose one and just go with it, but I was like, no, I got to get both of these teams. First of all, the Houston Texans, not ranked. I think this is the first time they've been on my list, I believe, this year. But they coming at number 5. 7 straight at the start of 0-3, and won 7 straight. Some of the games have been tight, but nevertheless, the Texans are right here, 7-3, and is leading the South in the AFC, and probably will continue to for the rest of the year. I got them winning this division now. And they tied with the Chicago Bears. Got to get the Bears love as well. Playing very, very well. 7-3. Nobody expected them to be here at all. Of course, Khalil Mack doing his thing. Mitch Trubisky as well. Impressive win against the Vikings on Sunday night. So here's my top 5 once again. The New Orleans Saints at 1. Number 2, the LA Rams. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And tie for 5th, the Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears. So thanks so much for joining me here. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this vlog up. Lord, I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired. Been up all morning. Then I gotta work pretty much from now to all day tomorrow. So hope everybody enjoy your holiday, enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy the football tomorrow. I'll be back Saturday. Saturday we have a lot to talk about. We'll talk more about the Rams and the Chiefs game. Not get enough of that. I'll give you the rest of my Week 12 picks in the NFL. NBA, still some drama with J.R. Smith and Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron returned to Cleveland tonight. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. Talk a little NBA. MLB, nothing really to talk about. Baseball is the off season, but Adrian Beltre did retire. So maybe that's something we talk about. And big week of college football as well. So join me Saturday as we'll be back for episode 78. It'll be recorded way sooner than this time. I'm a little bit late than my normal record time. But yeah, we'll have all that Saturday. Video game playthroughs, of course, started the Spider-Man Turf Wars, Chapter 2 of The City That Never Sleeps. The first part of the video is up now, the first video of that, so go check that out. Other than that, nothing else that much. Go ahead and say so long, thank you so much. I'm Troy West said thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later on this week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving and be safe, and peace and love everyone. Thank you so much.